Have you ever felt like someone was holding back their emotions? Like there was something just beneath the surface they weren't ready to say out loud? When it comes to men, words don't always tell the full story, but their body language often does. From subtle movements to unconscious gestures, these physical cues can reveal what he's feeling, even if he's trying his best to hide it. Here's the thing. Our bodies are hardwired to respond to emotions, even when our minds are trying to stay composed. Whether it's nervous fidgeting, a quick glance away, or a small adjustment in posture, these tiny signals can give you an inside look at what he's thinking and feeling. But decoding body language isn't just about noticing these actions. It's about understanding the psychology and emotions behind them. In this video, we're diving into 5 powerful body language signals that's showing he's holding back his feelings and emotions towards you. These aren't the obvious signs you might already know. They're the subtle, often overlooked cues that reveal the truth when words fall short. By the end, you'll not only be able to spot these signals, but also have a better understanding of what they mean and how to respond. So if you've ever wondered if he's feeling something more than he's letting on, stay tuned because this video is for you. Feet angled away despite leaning in. Let's start with a signal that's so subtle, most people miss it entirely. The direction of his feet. Imagine the scenario. You're deep in conversation and he's leaning towards you, making strong eye contact and hanging on to every word. On the surface, it looks like he's fully engaged. But if you glance down and notice his feet are pointed towards the door or another direction, it might indicate he's holding back. So, why does this happen? Feet are often referred to as the honest part of body language. Unlike your hands or face, which can be consciously controlled, your feet often move based on instinct. When someone feels a mix of attraction and hesitation, their upper body might lean in to show interest, while their feet pull away, reflecting internal conflict. It's like his body is saying, I want to connect, but I'm not ready to let my guard down completely just yet. Think about a guy who's fully engaged in your story, leaning closer with every sentence, but when you glance down, his feet are angled slightly away, pointing toward an exit. This subtle disconnect can reveal a tug of war between his emotions and his hesitation. Maybe he's drawn to you but is grappling with fears of vulnerability or rejection. Tightly crossed arms with relaxed shoulders. Crossed arms often get labeled as a defensive posture, but let's break it down. There's a big difference between arms crossed tightly with rigid shoulders indicating defensiveness and arms crossed with relaxed shoulders. In this case, it's not just about keeping you out, it's about holding himself together. When someone crosses their arms with relaxed shoulders, it's often a self-soothing gesture. It's as if he's creating a barrier, not to block you out, but to contain the emotions that feel too overwhelming for him to express. This is especially common during emotional or vulnerable conversations. He might feel the need to protect his heart, even as he's fully present with you. So, imagine you're sharing a personal story and he crosses his arms but keeps his posture relaxed and his gaze steady. This isn't a sign of disinterest. Instead, it's his way of managing the intensity of the moment while staying emotionally present for you. Physical overcompensation. Have you ever noticed a guy suddenly seeming larger than life around you? Maybe he stands taller, spreads his arms out, or leans back with exaggerated casualness. This is what's known as physical overcompensation, a way of masking vulnerability by projecting confidence. It's a subconscious attempt to appear in control even when his emotions are anything but the fact. The psychology behind this is fascinating. When someone feels attracted or emotionally invested but doesn't want to appear too eager, they'll often amplify their physical presence. It's like saying, I've got this, even if inside they're feeling nervous or unsure. Imagine a guy who suddenly starts cracking jokes a little too loudly or stretches his arms behind his head to take up more space. These gestures might seem playful, but they're often his way of navigating the tension of being around someone he deeply admires. Sudden tightening of his hands or grip. Hands are one of the most telling parts of the body when it comes to hidden emotions. If he's gripping his phone tightly, clenching his fist subtly, or fidgeting with an object, it's often a sign of internal tension. These movements aren't random, they're his body's way of channeling emotions he's not ready to verbalize. So, why does this happen? When someone suppresses their feelings, that emotional energy has to go somewhere. The hands become an outlet, revealing what he's trying so hard to keep under wraps. Imagine you're in a deep conversation and you notice him gripping his coffee cup a little too tightly or repeatedly adjusting his watch. These small, unconscious actions show he's processing emotions, likely more than he's letting on. Subtle avoidance of physical proximity. Here's a curious one. Even when there's plenty of space to sit or stand closer to you, he maintains a slight distance. At first glance, it might seem like he's not interested, but this behavior often signals the opposite. By keeping a bit of distance, he's trying to protect himself from revealing too much. Being physically close might make it harder for him to hide his feelings, so he subconsciously creates space as a buffer. It's not about discomfort with you either, it's about his own struggle to manage what he's feeling. This avoidance of proximity is often paired with other subtle signs, like leaning in during the conversation but pulling back slightly when the moment feels too intense. Has that ever happened to you? Probably has, right? Think about a time when you were sitting in a group and he chose the chair slightly farther away from you, even though there's one right next to you that was open. It's not rejection, it's a sign that he's trying to manage his emotions while still staying connected with you. This usually occurs with shy guys most specifically. Guys, body language is a powerful window into emotions, especially when someone is holding back their feelings. These subtle cues, the positioning of feet, the tension in hands, or the distance he keeps, can tell you so much more than words could ever do. The key is to approach these moments with patience and understanding. Often, people hold back because they're waiting for the right time or the right level of trust to share their true feelings. By recognizing these signals, you can better navigate your relationship dynamics and create a space where honesty and connection can thrive together. Remember, it's not about pressuring someone to open up. It's about understanding the unspoken language of emotions. Anyway, have you ever noticed these body language signals in someone you know? Share your stories in the comments below. As always, I would love to hear your experiences. And as always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, take care and keep an eye out for the silent language of connection.